Hello, thanks for tuning in to the next edition of OPAK's Outdoor Series. Today we will introduce you to the clam. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram so that you can be the first one to know about our programming updates. So, what is a clam? Clams are brainless, headless invertebrates that live in the sand. They can be classified as mollusks, bivalves, and pelecypods, which basically translates to being a soft-bodied, two-shelled animal with a foot. A quick clarification. Invertebrates are animals without backbones that make up about 95% of the animal kingdom. Animals with backbones are called vertebrates. These animals include mammals like us, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians. Bivalves are animals that have two shells that are hinged or glued together. Mollusks are a very diverse group of invertebrates in the animal kingdom that have soft bodies, which are partially or completely covered in a hard shell. Pelecypod is another word for a bivalve. This class of animals includes clams, oysters, mussels, and scallops. How do clams eat? Clams live in a vertical or upright position under the sand or mudflats, with their necks, also called siphons, pointing upwards and their foot pointing downwards. As the tide rises, clams expand their necks or siphons and filter the water around them. The water is taken in by the beating of millions of hair-like structures called cilia, which are found on the clam's gills. This water both feeds the clam and provides it oxygen for it to breathe. Different gill cilia strain food from the water and transport it, entangled in mucus, to the clam's mouth. As the tide falls, clams pull their siphons back, which leaves tiny holes on the surface of the sand. If you have ever walked on the beach at low tide, you may have spotted these holes. Vibrations from our footsteps actually cause the clam to retract its siphon even further. When they do this, they squirt water up through that hole. Stay alert next time you go to the beach at low tide. You might be able to see these squirts of water. How do clams grow? The clam's soft body, which houses its gills, its reproductive organs, its digestive tract, and its heart, is covered in a thin membrane called a mantle. This mantle builds the clam's shell by absorbing lime or calcium carbonate from the seawater around the clam. Clams actually continue to grow throughout their entire life cycle, but their growing does slow during the winter. This continual growing results in growth lines on the shell of the clams. These growth lines give us an estimate of the clam's age, just like a tree's rings do. How do clams reproduce? Reproduction in clams is a very fast process. During the summer, adult clams discharge millions of eggs and sperm into the water. When these eggs and sperm accidentally meet, fertilization occurs. Within a few hours, the fertilized egg develops into a tiny planktonic creature. After less than a day, the clam drops to the ocean floor, where it anchors itself to sand grains or seaweed by a thin thread called a byssus. As the clam gets bigger, it begins to dig down using its foot. The clam will then spend the rest of its life under the sand. Soft-shell clams can live to be 12 years old, while hard-shell clams can live under the sand for 20 to 25 years. What types of clams are there? Clams are a member of the class Bivalvia, which has about 15,000 living species. Clam size ranged from 0.1 millimeters to 1.2 meters, or about 4 feet. This is the case for the giant clam of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Most clams inhabit shallow coastal waters, which protect them from wave action. However, one species, the abraclam, was actually found in the Pacific Ocean at a depth of more than 4,800 meters, or 16,000 feet. There are some common clams that you will find on the east coast of the United States. These clams include soft-shell clams, commonly called steamers or long-neck clams, hard-shell clams, commonly referred to as quahogs, little necks, and cherry stones, the razor clam, which looks like an old-fashioned razor blade, the surf clam, the largest clam on Atlantic beaches, which are found past the low water mark in deeper water, and angel wings, which are boring clams that are able to create deep grooves in hard substances like wood and cement. Why should you care about clams? Clams play an important role in the marine ecosystem by filtering the water and serving as habitat and prey for a variety of sea life. This diverse group can be found virtually across the entire globe, including near hydrothermal vent sites, some of which have been found as deep as 13,000 meters below the ocean surface, or about 2.5 miles down. These are typically found in the Pacific Ocean. If clams' diversity and unique life cycle isn't enough to make you care, in 2011, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, estimated the economic value of the commercial bivalve harvest at about $1 billion annually in just the United States. The weight of that harvest was estimated to be around 150 million pounds, which is about the weight of 180 747 airplanes. Clams are easily found in restaurants and supermarkets all across the world and are served raw, in chowders, fried, in pies, and in many other ways. If you enjoy seafood, make sure you are doing your best to choose sustainable options. Most shellfish are a great choice. Thank you for joining us for this edition of our outdoor series. We hope you learned something about the clam. If you enjoyed this video, please consider making a small donation to OPAK to help us continue to offer ocean educational opportunities. You can donate on our website, www.opakedu.org. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and like our Twitter page so that you can stay up to date on all things OPAK.